Welcome to the deep dive. We're diving straight into some pretty surprising news that popped up recently. The musician Grimes, well, she basically went public blasting Twitter calling it poison and a prison.
Wow, yeah, poison and a prison. That's not holding back, is it? Especially considering, the connection there.
Exactly. It was a really scathing assessment. So in this deep dive, we're going to unpack that her criticism of social media, but also her really complicated history with Elon Musk.
Right, because you can't really talk about one without the other, can you? It's all tangled up. We're looking at what this tells us about these huge online platforms and, well, the public figures caught up in them.
We've got sources covering her actual statements, plus a lot of the public reaction and discussion around both her and Musk. So it gives us a few different angles.
Yeah, it helps get beyond just the headlines. Our kind of mission here is to explore the nuances, behind her criticisms, the whole Musk relationship dynamic, and what it means for us using these platforms.
Okay, so let's get into it. Grimes' actual words. She said, and I'm quoting this directly, okay, I've basically been entirely off social media, and returning here it is overwhelmingly, abundantly, and profoundly clear that this place and all of these places are a poison prison.
Phew, that's quite the opener. Poison and prison. It sounds like she sees it as something genuinely harmful, like fundamentally damaging.
Definitely more than just annoying.
Oh, for sure. She gets specific, too. She called X utterly short-form, deep-sounding nonsense attached to no one that our brain will discard imaging it's learning.
Huh. So it's like empty calories for the brain. That's what that sounds like.
Kind of, yeah. Like you think you're getting something deep, but it's just noise your brain throws away. She doesn't see it as enriching at all.
And then she said the entire thing is a theater, a shitty, pale simulacra of a life. That's pretty bleak.
It really is, and it connects directly to her mental health concerns. She said, I think it's very unhealthy to be on social media. It feels like a ghost town of depression, bitterness, and pictures of beautiful women doing sexed things.
A ghost town of depression.
Yeah.
That's evocative. So she sees it as actively harmful to well-being.
Absolutely, and she blames the platforms themselves. She called it a massive moral failure of all the apps, saying it's causing great harm to society. Big words.
Massive moral failure. Wow. She also mentioned something about an uninformed social media mental health subculture.
Yeah, she seemed really worried about that. Said it seems explicitly anti-civilizational and geared towards making people worse. Like not just unhelpful, but actively detrimental.
Okay, and adding another layer here is her own personal context. Grimes Claire-Bosher, she's 37, and she recently shared diagnoses of ADHD and autism.
Right, and she mentioned being grateful she dealt with early childhood challenges before social media was everywhere.
Which makes you think, doesn't it? How does her own neurotype maybe influence how she experiences these platforms? Like the constant stimulation, the chaos.
It could definitely shape her perspective, yeah. But then the big elephant in the room.
The irony.
Exactly. She posted all of this on X.
Right. Which, predictably, people jumped on immediately. The sources show comments like, why the F would you post that on that very hell site?
And others speculating, calling it entirely performative or even like a way to get Musk's attention, maybe financially. A last chance to try to fish some money out of him was one quote.
Yeah, it really forces you to think about sincerity versus strategy online, especially for famous people. Even when they're criticizing the platform, they're still kind of using it, feeding the beast almost. Their criticism becomes content for the platform.
It blurs those lines, doesn't it, between genuine critique and, well, performance. It highlights how complex these celebrity interactions on social media really are. Personal stuff, professional moves, audience engagement, it's all mixed together.
Okay, so let's shift a bit and unpack that relationship with Elon Musk, because it's crucial context here. They were together, from 2018 to 2023?
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah.
And they have 3 kids together. But their public dynamic has seen some wild swings.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you look back, and she used to praise him quite a bit. Remember, she called her time with him the best internship ever. Said she learned from him.
Right. And she was really impressed by his work, especially SpaceX. Called it incredible to watch, a masterclass in leadership and engineering. She highlighted how rare she thought a leader like him was.
Yeah, she even said he made her way tougher and smarter, challenged her.
And affection, too. As recently as March 2022, she called him her best friend and the love of my life.
Even when they broke up, she kind of implied she ended it, right? Saying, I bounced.
And she defended him sometimes, even against things like being called a climate denier. So there was definitely a period of strong public support and affection.
But then you compare that with other things she said, particularly about their kids. That's where it gets really different.
Starkly different, yeah. Our sources show her saying she begged him to keep the kids out of the public eye. She called the exposure very concerning, and it's insane.
That's a direct clash with, Musk's very public persona. It got more heated, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. She publicly called him out, alleging he ignored a medical crisis with one of their children.
Oof.
And she was furious about him having their son at, I think it was a Trump press conference. She really blasted him for that.
Right, and there was that whole thing about her furious reaction to a Nazi salute mentioned tied to a Trump inauguration. Some sources link that back to her relationship with Musk, too.
So when you put all that alongside her recent criticism,
It starts to paint a different picture, doesn't it?
it does. Her criticism of the platform suddenly seems potentially linked to these broader worries about public life, parenting, maybe the values represented by the platform's owner, who happens to be her ex and the father of her children.
So it's not just this app is bad. It might also be this app, run by him, embodies things I'm deeply concerned about, especially for my family.
Exactly. It suggests that for figures like her, the personal and the platform are inseparable. The owner's actions, their public image, it all feeds into how the platform itself is perceived and experienced, influencing public discourse.
It really underlines how tangled personal lives and the sort of digital town square have become. It's not just a simple celeb spat when the platform owner is involved.
And zooming out even further, there's this whole narrative around Musk and his ventures that seems to exist in the public consciousness.
You mean like that term musked?
Yeah, exactly. We saw that definition from a Reddit source. To have been deceived, hoodwinked, or bamboozled by an individual who wields immense wealth and spins extravagant tales that ultimately prove empty. Now, that's just one community's definition, but it reflects a certain kind of public sentiment that's out there.
And it ties into the controversies that seem to follow X and Musk's other projects,
Yeah.
right? Things we see in headlines.
Definitely. And again, we need to be clear. These are claims and reports from sources, not us confirming them as facts, but they shape the perception.
Right. Like sources claiming Musk enables malicious mode on Grok, overt anti-Semitism emerges, or reports that his AI company had to blame an unauthorized change for its chatbot talking about white genocide.
And other headlines mentioning things like Musk threatening a news agency or that quote about him regretting the chainsaw stunt because it lacked empathy.
Whether these specific reports are fully accurate or not, they contribute to this image of, well, unpredictability maybe,
Yeah.
which likely feeds into critiques like the one Grimes made.
Precisely. It's the environment surrounding the platform. And that includes his reported political shifts, too, which have been all over the news.
Yeah, that's been a whole saga. Sources reporting Musk saying Trump used him for political leverage and that he won't be part of the circus anymore. Reports about him leaving Trump administration back when he was advising.
Then the dynamic flipped, didn't it? Headlines saying Trump rips into Elon Musk when Musk announced a new political party, calling it ridiculous.
Right. And then more recently, suggestions like, Elon has finally woken up. Musk battles to save Tesla from Trump. It's whiplash-inducing almost.
And even reports tying his finances to it, like one claim that he was down nearly $20 billion since breaking with Trump last month.
Again, just reporting what the sources say here. But all these threads, the product stuff, the political stuff, they create this turbulent backdrop for X.
They really do. It paints a picture of the wider world that Grimes is reacting to, probably. It's not just about the app's features in isolation.
So wrapping this deep dive up, we've really peeled back quite a few layers on Grimes' comments, haven't we?
We really have. It shows how her personal story, that really complex and public relationship with Musk and his role at X are all deeply, deeply connected.
It's definitely not just a simple case of a celebrity disliking a social media app. It's much more about personal history intersecting with a very public, very powerful platform.
And it brings up that fundamental point about how tangled everything is now. Personal lives, fame, technology, public opinion. It makes you wonder, can someone like her ever truly disentangle themselves, even if they want to?
Yeah. Which leaves a question for you, the listener, to mull over. When you see this constant churn of high-profile drama and commentary, especially involving people so close to the platforms themselves, how does that change how you use social media, how you judge the information you see?
And maybe the bigger question, how much do the personal lives, the decisions, the reported controversies swirling around these platform owners actually affect the health and the nature of the platforms we all use every day? How much does it shape the public conversation itself?